Look, launching a business in the Golden State is an incredibly thrilling move, but let's be completely real. California's regulatory landscape is infamous for being an absolute bureaucratic maze. Between navigating rigid state tax codes, submitting mandatory organization filings, and maintaining ongoing state compliance, the entire setup process can easily overwhelm even the most focused entrepreneur. And that is exactly why professional LLC formation services have become an essential tool for modern business owners. So instead of wasting countless hours trying to decipher complicated state requirements, founders can deploy specialized automated platforms to handle the heavy administrative lifting. But with a sea of different providers all promising a flawless setup, finding a partner that understands California's specific rules is vital. This quick breakdown is built with hands-on internal testing and exhaustive industry stress tests conducted by the Bizreport search team, dissecting the exact pros and cons and real pricing structures to find the perfect fit for the California entrepreneurial journey. So let's dive straight into the details. Before reviewing the top individual platforms, it is crucial to understand the unique legal milestones that California mandates. Registering an LLC here involves several strict state-level requirements that must be handled with precise timing to keep the business legitimate. The Articles of Organization. This is the official launchpad. To legally form an LLC in California, a business must submit its Articles of Organization to California's Secretary of State. Now, a critical update to note is that the state has completely eliminated paper mail-in submissions. Everything must now be processed electronically through the state's official BizFile online portal. The state enforces a non-refundable $70 filing fee to process the initial document. The continuous registered agent requirements. Under California state law, an LLC cannot legally exist or be approved without appointing a registered agent who maintains a physical street address within the borders of California. This designated agent must be available at the physical office during standard business hours to formally accept and sign official legal notices, subpoenas, and state correspondence. Utilizing a standard post office box or an unverified out-of-state address will result in immediate rejection by the BizFile system. Mandatory Statement of Information. This is an easy missed compliance trap. Within 90 days of your initial LLC approval, California law requires the submission of an initial statement of information, which carries a mandatory $20 filing fee. This updates the state on the key business details like management structures and principal office locations. Missing this 90-day window triggers an automatic severe $250 penalty. Furthermore, the filing isn't a one-off task. It must be resubmitted biennially, meaning every 2 years, to keep the business in good standing. Every single LLC operating or registered in the state must pay a mandatory annual tax of $800 to California Franchise Tax Board, regardless of whether the business makes $1 million or $0 in revenue. The operating agreement requirement. Under California Corporations Code, Section 17701.13, every LLC must have a written or oral operating agreement to govern in its internal management and financial splits. So while this document is kept safely in company records rather than being filed publicly with the Secretary of State, skipping this step leaves a business dangerously exposed during legal audits or internal ownership disputes. Clearly, staying compliant with these layers require a platform that knows California inside and out. Now let's look at the top choice to see which provider delivers the cleanest integration. All right, coming in at number 1 is ZenBusiness, recognized as the best user-friendly option across the board. ZenBusiness has built a massive footprint in the industry by stripping away the dry, confusing legal jargon and replacing it with a sleek, tech-driven interface. For a brand new founder, the registration setup is incredibly intuitive, acting like a guided digital wizard that eliminates human error. A major competitive edge here is their proprietary Velo AI assistant, which instantly analyzes your business type to accelerate the drafting process and accurately prepare the state documentation. Looking at the core value, Zen Business eliminates initial service cost friction by offering starter packages at $0 plus state fees. This $0 entry is an absolute lifesaver in California because it allows entrepreneurs to keep their immediate launch costs to bare minimum, saving that crucial cash flow to prepare for the state's heavy $800 annual franchise tax that hits just a few months later. However, navigating their financial tiers requires careful forward planning regarding mandatory state documents. And while the platform offers an accessible entry point, their basic framework does not bundle an internal operating agreement, a document that California legally mandates all LLCs must maintain. To secure this critical compliance layer, alongside their worry-free monitoring or ongoing registered agent renewals, founders must be prepared to transition into their paid, structured subscription tiers rather than relying solely on a bare-bones setup. But for California's business owners who place a premium on top-tier automation, conversational AI tools, and reliable weekend customer support to navigate the state's strict deadlines, Zen Business delivers a stellar foundation. Next up at number 2 is LegalZoom, earning the badge for the best industry trust. And when it comes to sheer national brand recognition, LegalZoom is the undisputed heavy hitter in the business formation space. Having supported millions of small business owners over a multi-decade track record, they are a natural fit for entrepreneurs who prioritize security of the massive corporate brand name over a lean tech startup. Beyond just filing standard digital paperwork, LegalZoom connects users to a broad legal ecosystem, and their basic entry-level plan matches the industry trend at $0 plus state fees for standard business registration. The standout benefit here for California business owners is long-term scalability. Because California enforces unique and aggressive corporate tax codes, having direct, affordable access to LegalZoom's network of vetted business attorneys can save founders thousands in legal consultation fees down the road. However, navigating the final price tag can be tricky. While the initial setup has a $0 service fee, LegalZoom's platform features a high volume of upsells during this checkout. And in a highly regulated state like California, features like custom operating agreements or compliance tracking, which are often vital here, are locked behind premium add-ons, meaning the overall cost can escalate very quickly. But if brand equity and extensive legal resource are the main requirements, LegalZoom is the rock-solid choice. At number 3, we've got Northwest Registered Agent, ranking as the premier option for data privacy. Northwest takes a radically independent operational approach compared to the flashy tech platforms. They are family-owned, operate on strict corporate philosophy that prioritizes client data security above everything else. Instead of hosting user data on vulnerable public cloud networks, they run everything on their own private local servers to guarantee personal information is never sold to third-party marketing lists. Now, this is where Northwest becomes an absolute powerhouse specifically for the state of California. Because under California's BizFile online public registry, any address used on the LLC's application becomes public record forever. Northwest completely solves this privacy nightmare by allowing founders to use Northwest's local office address on all official documents, successfully shielding their personal home address from the public database, junk mailers, stalkers. Additionally, instead of routing customer service to automated phone bots, users are paired with real local experts who handle California state filing daily. Furthermore, instead of leaning on confusing subscription structures or $0 marketing traps that force heavy upsells later, Northwest uses a highly transparent, incredibly competitive one-time fee of just $39 plus state costs for a standalone package that includes specialized human support, elite address shielding, and a full free year of professional registered agent service, an essential compliance layer that normally costs $125 annually. This $39 entry point stands out as one of the most absolute lowest and most cost-effective service rates available across the entire industry. However, their online user interface is distinctly utilitarian and looks a bit old-fashioned, compared to the flashy automated dashboards on the market. But for the entrepreneur who refuses to compromise on personal data security and wants authentic expert support to survive California's strict regulatory landscape, Northwest is an exceptional choice. Moving on to number 4, we have Taylor Brands, which serves as the top choice for integrated branding support. Taylor Brands approaches business registration from a highly creative operational angle. Their team recognizes that when building a new California venture, an entrepreneur doesn't just need a legal entity approved by the state, they immediately need an active digital identity to actually attract customers and generate revenue. Now, the major superpower here is the all-in-one business-in-a-box model. Alongside managing the traditional legal filing paperwork, Taylor Brands integrates advanced AI logo creators, custom website builders, digital business cards, and social media market suites directly inside the exact same user dashboard. And in California's hyper-competitive commercial market, being able to launch a brand identity and secure state approval simultaneously gives founders a massive speed advantage. However, if an owner already has an established website, custom branding, and a finalized logo, these integrative tools can feel a bit repetitive. Furthermore, because California already imposes high baseline operating fees like the annual franchise tax, paying extra for a lifestyle marketing subscription might not make financial sense if the business only needs a bare bones legal filing. But for modern service e-commerce brands launching entirely from scratch, Taylor Brands provides an incredibly efficient, cohesive launchpad. And rounding out the top 5 is Bizzy, an incredibly popular operator that has long been a dominant force in the business formation industry. Bizzy builds its entire platform around an aggressive, high-value pricing model, making it a highly attractive option for bootstrap startups trying to keep initial setup overhead as low as humanly possible. Bizzy's entry-level Silver plan features a $0 service fee plus state costs, covering the name availability search and full filing of articles of organization. But the ultimate game changer for the California business is that Bizzy bundles a full year of professional registered agent service completely free of charge inside that free starter package. Now, since California legally mandates a registered agent, getting this service fee for 12 months helps offset the sting of the state's mandatory corporate fees during that critical first year. On the flip side, the main compromise involves the user journey. Their checkout flow is densely packed with partner promotions and third-party upsell prompts that require careful navigation if an owner wants to avoid add-ons. However, once past the checkout, Bizzy stands out by operating on a transparent, one-time fee for its setup paths, while simultaneously offering one of the most budget-friendly registered agent renewal rates across the entire industry after the first free year expires. But for pure cash flow preservation on a lean launch, Bizzy is exceptionally tough to beat. When mapping out the true financial reality of launching a California LLC, the baseline starts with the state's mandatory $70 Bizzy filing fee and $20 statement of information fee, regardless of the service chosen. While entry plans from Zen Business and LegalZoom allow business owners to submit the initial articles of organization with a $0 service fee, their long-term cost often scales up through recurring subscription tiers or standalone premium add-ons for essential compliant documents. Similarly, Taylor Brands locks in its legal tools inside an ongoing marketing subscription, which might add unnecessary overhead if you only need corporate filing. In sharp contrast, Bizzy stands out by operating on a transparent, one-time fee model set up for paths, while simultaneously offering one of the most budget-friendly registered agent renewal rates across the entire industry. After the first free year expires, for founders seeking ultimate privacy, Northwest Registered Agent completely bypasses the $0 marketing traps by utilizing a highly competitive, upfront, one-time fee of just $39, bundling elite address shielding with a full free year of registered agent compliance. When factoring in California's mandatory $800 annual franchise tax and required internal operating agreement, looking closely at how each platform structures its long-term renewal fees is one way to protect your business overhead over time. So, what is the final verdict for setting up your business in California? The ideal partner depends entirely on what the business roadmap prioritizes. For tech-driven ease, choose Zen Business. Their modern platforms, automated filing tools, and deadline tracking keep state compliance completely hands-off. For institutional trust, choose LegalZoom if leaning on a massive, highly recognized corporate brand name with built-in attorney access is the goal. And for total privacy protection, opt with Northwest Registered Agent to shield personal home data behind top-tier security protocols and real local expert guides. For launching an identity, select Tailor Brands if the venture requires custom logo design tools, website, digital marketing asset brands alongside the legal registration. And for maximum cash flow, utilize Bizzy to secure a $0 service fee coupled with a full free year of registered agent compliance. Weigh these unique superpowers against the immediate budget and the operational plans, pick the perfect partner, and get that California LLC officially off the ground. Thank you for watching and have a good luck with the new venture.